Is there anybody listening? Is there anyone that sees what's going on? Read between the lines, criticize the words they're selling. Think for yourself and feel the...
Good morning and welcome back to the Trailer Park. I am Chanda-Masta and this is your midweek recap in the trailer park, and there's a lot going on. Like I say every day, I got a huge deck today. I don't think it's as big as Mondays, but it's still pretty big. There's a lot to talk about. How is everybody this mid-Wednesday? I feel like it's a Monday, man. I slid into this chair with 2 minutes left to go and was trying to get everything dialed in. It takes me about a half hour to get the studio, everything together. And I didn't have that kind of time this morning. So we're just going to rough it. We're going to rough it like we're camping. How is everybody? Let me get the chats up this morning. Oh, wow. Look at all of you guys. Good morning. Kim. Hello. Kill your egros. Yeah. Is that egregiousness? Yeah. Chad. Hey, Chad. What's up? Who else is in here? Anthony. Hi, Anthony. How's it going? Let's see. Kate, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. You're everywhere, Kate. Popeye. Popeye's in the room. Hi, Popeye. Kate, you're everywhere this morning. And then, of course, we are up on Kick now. I'm really liking Kick, guys. Oh, and I didn't even bring it up. Hold on. Let me pull up a Kick. Kick it. They actually tweet out that we're live, which a lot of them don't do. I can do that with Patreon, but Rockfin kind of picks and chooses who they're going to, advertise as live. I hate that when I log in, though, I hear the sound, so I have to hear myself. Okay, there we are. Hi, guys. Miguel H is hanging out over on Kick. So is Dingo. You guys like Kick? I'm really liking Kick. And you only need 75 subs over there to get monetized. You need 1,000 on YouTube. That's crazy. So good morning. Thank you to everybody who's watching over there. Of course, it's Cold Fusion's hanging out over there too. Go Start. Hi, Go Start. How are you? How are you this morning? Apparently, I can't speak. This is going to be a fun show. Okay, here is your AGI or AI generated card for today. That is 100% AI. I just tell it what I'm thinking, like a trailer park blowing up with a mushroom cloud and a queen watching, and this is the shit I get. So they're very creative. We're teaching AI to think more and more warped like us every damn day. So let's get moving. Oh, you know what? I was going to open with this song and I totally spaced. I don't normally open with the song. We do that on Beauty and the Boomer. But this is a great 2-minute jam from Jam X. And keep your eyes open. Tell me how many people in this video you recognize, because I know a lot of them. So this is really good.
Never solved a problem, so the cycle just repeats. See the woman read the coffers, but we never hear a peep. Politicians making promises they never meant to keep. Take the taxes out of pockets just to bomb the Middle East. Screaming in the night, see the things they try to hide. All they buried in the dark, 10,000 candles kind of light. Till they did a bomb the Middle East. Till Snowden's home is released. I know something you should know when that whistle blows. Never solved our problem, so the cycle just goes on. Pain, deceit, power, and torture from Iraq to Vietnam. Sending shots at kids and doctors. When we talk, they hear our calls. Call that freedom, I call bullshit. See these devils they call gods. It's screaming in the night. See the things they try to hide. All they buried in the dark. 10,000 candles kind of light. Till they did a bomb the Middle East. Till Snowden's home is released. I know something you should know when that whistle blows. I'm not sorry if you can't take it. There's children starving, they might not make it. Missiles falling, they're striking fear, but the whistle's calling. Can you hear?
Glory.
Never solved a problem, so the cycle just repeats. See the woman read the cover,
Free Julian Assange. I'm proud to say I knew damn near everybody in that video except for the guy singing. I haven't had a chance to, if I've met him, I don't remember. But when you're on the ground at these events, you meet so many people. And sometimes you file it away and a year later you go, oh yeah, I met you. Like the first time I ever met Garland Nixon. I hung out with Garland Nixon for like fucking 5 hours. 2 years later, I met him and totally had forgot about him. Like, I just thought like, oh my God, that was Garland Nixon hanging out with us that one night. That's just, you don't know somebody, you don't know their name. It gets filed. But I'm so proud of him. And yeah, you guys making fun of the whole 90s punk. I don't consider Green Day true punk. I'm just going to tell you. I am old school Gen Xer. When you say punk to me, I'm thinking Sex Pistols and CBGBs and, the Flaming Lips and the Dolls. There's just so much more from the 70s that I think is more, actual punk. That's just my opinion, though. Okay. Well, we'll get moving. So fair use, YouTube. You guys know the whole spiel. If you like something that I bring up, please go do your research. The information's out there. The truth is out there. They just know you won't go look for it. And if you find it, they'll just call you conspiracy theorists. So I am not taking these clips and claiming them as mine. I am merely commentating on them. And guess what, guys? You can buy me a coffee again. But no, actually, it's buy me a mile now. Because as you guys know, my Bergie baby, my car, my van, she's limping along. So, last month, she blew her front tire out. So it sat for like 2 weeks. And then I got the tire fixed. And 2 days later, the oil sensor or the oil pump, I don't know yet, is trying to go out. So I've just been dead in the effing water. So yeah, if you want to buy me a mile, I have lots of places to get to and no way to get there. And our bus system where I live, not very reliable. That, and I live like 150 miles away from Seattle. So it takes me a lot to get to the airport. So I appreciate everybody's help. Of course, my GoFundMe, guys, I beat GoFundMe. I won my appeal. How amazing is that? It took me a week and a half of corresponding back and forth with them. And I got to say, I feel bad for Beatrice, whoever the customer service lady at GoFundMe was, because I unloaded on her ass. And, they wanted to say that they were investigating that I was a foreign agent, that I was collecting money for a foreign agency or, that I worked for some other country or some shit. So I fought back and forth with them. And it was the stupidest fucking questions. I got to tell you, like, what is the Land of Oz? I was like, are you fucking serious? What is the Land of Oz? A made up fictional place that happens to be my best friend's house that I'm trying to get to. But I won finally, I just let him have it. I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter if I win this appeal or not. I'm fucking done with you guys. I have made you thousands of dollars in the last 10 fucking years. And this is how you treat me. I'm like, I will get dicked around by some other company. So I'm just going to go. And that's when immediately they were like, oh, okay, well, you're approved. We're going to lift the hold. So if you want to go check out my GoFundMe, it's in the link description below. And it also is in our link tree. Help Chanda get to the Land of Oz. So Trailer Park Pundit needs your help. And thank you to everybody who went out there and hit it as soon as it went up. Lizzie, I saw you. Jax, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for helping get it going. And if you don't like to dig around with GoFundMe, there's always PayPal if you want to help. You guys are the best at keeping us going. Independent media, when I tell you guys independent media doesn't happen without you, it doesn't. We are the media together. I will be, brave enough to sit in my ass in this chair and tell everybody what my opinions are if you guys will help me get there. And that's what you guys do. It's so fucking incredible. It's just like, screw legacy media. We don't need you. We got our own. We produce it. We get it out there and we spread it no matter how much we're algorithmically challenged or suppressed. And talk about suppression. Monday was the anniversary of Seth Rich's murder, because it was murder. And DC reminded me first thing in the show, because I hadn't had a chance to be online that morning. But of course, as soon as I got online after the show, I saw all my posts from years past, because I always make sure to call it out. As a Bernie delegate in 2016, I just feel a kindred connection with Seth Rich and what he did for us, because he sacrificed his life. That is a true American hero. He sacrificed his life so we could know the truth, so he could get the information and put it in, I don't know, maybe WikiLeaks hands for the rest of the world to know what Hillary Clinton and the DNC was doing to us in 2016. And what happened? Twitter suppressed it. And when I say suppressed it, it got out there and it had thousands of views and hundreds of likes, whatever. I watched in real time as Twitter took the likes away from it. Every time I would go in there, somebody would comment, why is this camera not? That's better. It would peel like 10 from it. It would peel like 5 from it. I feel like this camera's crossing my eyes. Is it just me or am I too close? Maybe I need to get further away from it. Let's try that. Is that better? New camera. So, So anyways, I make the comment that on Facebook, because Facebook, nobody even sees it, right? If I post something on Facebook, it doesn't even see it. This camera's starting to piss me off. So I made the comment over on Facebook and people were like, what? Twitter censors too? Where the hell have you been? Yes, Twitter censors too. Come on, guys. Come on. Censorship is on every platform. It's not a pick and choose. If you got something you're saying that they don't want out there, you're just going to get censored. I don't care what platform you are. A DARPA boy, Zucker sucker, doesn't matter. They all censor. Okay, let's do this day in history. This day in history. Not a lot on this day in history, but I do love this story. Today was the anniversary in 1979 of the Disco Demolition Night. How many of you know what that is? This is fucking hilarious. So the Chicago White Sox and a local DJ, Steve Dow, teamed up for a promotional event. Baseball, they do that. And it was blowing up crates of disco records in between games and a doubleheader. Thousands of fans showed up who got their 98 cents. It was 98 cents to get in. And they brought records and destroyed and trashed the field. Well, it was so bad that they had to bring in riot cops. It turned into a huge riot. There was fires. They couldn't even play the second header game. Like, people fucking hated disco, man. And that was the official death of disco. Let's see. 1984, Geraldine Ferrera is designated running mate of Walter Mondale. Of course, the Democratic presidential nominee, Mondale, chose her. And they didn't win. Surprise. And let's see. 1976, our favorite, the television game show Family Feud, aired on ABC. Who doesn't miss watching Richard Dawson make out with every single person that stepped on that stage? Of course, Steve Harvey's doing his best to fill in for him. We got a few birthdays today. It's Christine McVie of Fleetwood Mac, rest in peace. And of course, Richard Simmons himself. Not deceased that I'm aware of, but definitely in his dying days, I would think. Nobody's seen much of him the last couple of years. He's been hiding. There's a lot of rumors that he's being extorted by family and people who are taking care of him. Very, very sad, actually, for those of us who grew up with Richard Simmons. And then, not to be left out, it's America's dad, Bill Cosby, coming to roofie you for his birthday. Y'all know that he got out, right? Quietly, they let him go home. He's old. Who's he gonna hurt now? Who's he gonna R-word? Like, just let him go home. Weinstein will be next. You watch. They're already treating Weinstein good from what I hear. And there's one more birthday today I could not leave out, and that is fuck the poor herself, Kristen Sinema. Yeah. Remember, I made Oz look for this meme. And I looked for it for like a half hour this morning. I finally found it. This was one of our very first graphics that we ever used. Look at how bad it is. But hey, you know what? It was still funny. Yeah, that was from her curtsy, fuck the poor. You guys remember when she curtsied up there? And yeah, so disgusting. She is one of the worst corporate ass suckers. Why does she even pretend to be a Democrat? Because it's easier to destroy shit when you pretend to be a Democrat when you really are just a corporate shill Republican, right? Her and Manchin. I remember the Disco Sucks bumper stickers. You guys are too funny. I kind of do too. Hey, Death to Tyrants. What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Copeland Morris in the house. Good morning. Hi, Eli. DC, you made it. DC, you inspired me. That's why I had the Seth Rich in there. Okay, let's get moving. Let's talk about Biden. So Black unemployment continues to rise despite national job rates declining. African Americans comprise almost 90% of those who are unemployed in the U.S. since April. I don't know if I buy that stat. Honestly, I don't. Bidenomics, yeah, Biden fucking nomics. Unemployment below 4% for the longest stretch in 50 years. Want to know why? Because technically somebody like me would be deemed classified unemployed, but I don't go collect unemployment from that fucking racket, and I don't go get on any services, so therefore I don't get counted, and neither do millions of other Americans who said, fuck this system, I'm out, I am not doing it anymore. But hey, it makes their number look good. So inflation cut in half compared to a year ago. What crack is he smoking? He must be hanging out with Hunter in the freaking Oval Office doing blow, because that is straight up fantasy. Job satisfaction's at a 36-year high. I can't even, that was just too goddamn funny. For one, who's going around asking people if they're satisfied with their jobs? Because I don't know a goddamn person who's satisfied with being a cog in this system. The highest share of working age Americans in the workforce in 20 years. Yeah, you want to know why? Because nobody can retire. Nobody can afford to retire. I heard yesterday that over 50% of Gen Xers and boomers who have retired have now found themselves in poverty. And they're finding they have to go back to work. So at one point they thought they could retire, but because inflation and bad decisions, that's what they say, right? It's your bad decisions is why you don't have money. It doesn't have anything to do with the government. Yeah, whatever. Nobody has money. Low wage workers' pay are growing the fastest. Low wage workers' pay is growing the fastest in 20 years. What crack are you smoking? We haven't had a minimum wage increase since 2009, I think, or 2007. I mean, it's been like 13, 14 fucking years. And then it was crumbs when they did give it to us. They called us insane in 2010 to be asking for 15 an hour. I know I have my raise the minimum rate 15 an hour t-shirt. I got being on the streets with Shama Sawant back in those days. And you know what? Yeah, we got it passed in a couple of places in Washington state. And I think that it's the state minimum now. It's 15. I'm pretty sure it's up there now. But that doesn't mean shit when you live in Washington state. We were already outsourced in this state. I mean, nobody who lives in Seattle can afford to, or nobody who works in Seattle can live there. Nobody. I don't even care if you're working at goddamn Boeing. You're not going to be that close to where you work. You're going to be 2 hours out. And that's the reality of it. Unless you got millions of dollars to buy yourself a pad. That is the biggest joke. Here I'll show it to you one more time. Biggest joke, Bidenomics in action. Whatever. They just lie to you. They don't care. They don't care that they know that you know they're full of shit. And speaking of full of shit, Harry Sessions is back at it. It's a good week for him on TikTok. You know, he gets paid for every one of these TikTok ads that goes out, right? By the analytics company that they've hired. But he doesn't work for the DNC. He works for a company that works for the DNC.
I'm still riding with Biden. Unemployment has been below 4% for the longest stretch in 50 years. Inflation is half of what it was a year ago. Wages are going up, beginning to outpace inflation. Combine this with the fact that Biden has added 13 million jobs to the economy in 2.5 years. That's more than any president in 4 years. Bidenomics? I think so. Compare this to Donald Trump, who's what? Getting indicted for the second time, being found liable for sexual abuse? Come on now, the choice is clear.
That poor kid, man. It's so gross. We make fun of Beavis and Butthead every day. What more can you say? That kid is 100% a paid shill. When we say shill, that's exactly what we're talking about. And yeah, I love this. Steve, living in dystopian times, says, do you believe that America is doing pretty damn well, as Scarborough claims from his penthouse? And 97% say, hell no. Hell no. Yeah, they just live in Delusionville. You know, I saw, what was it, Sabby burning what's his name to the ground yesterday? It'll come to me with the K, with the K. These penthouse shit libs, and that's exactly what they are. They are the moderates that we have been warned about our whole entire life. Go listen to what Sabby said about it yesterday. She did an amazing breakdown on it, and she's right. I mean, who are these people? They live in their gated communities, and they dictate to the rest how bad you got it. You ain't got it that bad. How the fuck would you know? Biden, Dip Shitler, he's been at it. Of course, we saw him shuffling around over in London, hanging out with King Charles yesterday. And God, we call it the Biden shuffle, but really, it is the dementia shuffle. I know I've worked in a couple of dementia wards in my time, and I'm telling you, this is the unsure footing of a man who doesn't know where he's going or where he came from. It's a good day. It's not hot. I'll probably take a copyright strike because that's the official theme of the king or some shit. They always get me. It doesn't matter. No matter how hard I try not to take copyrights, somehow music in the background gets me. It's a good thing it wasn't that hot out because I showed you guys a video a couple of months ago where they're falling out. The Queen's Guard, the King's Guard, whatever they call them. It's so hot, they're not allowed to leave. They just got to fall over. And then they run out with these little stretchers and they throw their asses on them and then they run away. How funny if it would have been if Biden fell over and they ran out there with their stretchers and threw him on there and ran back away. I heard that King Charles had to grab him by his arm and lead him. He kind of got lost a couple of times. Are we shocked? No. But aren't you proud that he is the leader of the free world? Well, Harry Sessions is. What can I say? But it could get worse, guys. It could actually get worse. I mean, for as much as we can't stand Biden and his dementia-ville, it could get worse. We could impeach him, right? We're out there pushing the hashtag impeach Biden now, which I say push it. But don't forget that what we get if we win that is this. And she ain't much better. Come on. I'm trying to get the sound back on. Stop. Hold on. Give me a second. See that little thing right down there where it says 13? That's the slide thing. Well, I can't get to the YouTube settings when it's in my way. Okay, no. Go away. And it won't go away. Okay. You know what? Hold on. I paused that last one, so now I got to come out of it. Hit play and unmute it. Now go back into it. There we go. Getting better at this. Now we got it.
She's struggling, and you don't have to be be a senior at Caltech to know that. Just look at the poll numbers.
Oh, because he's one to talk. She sets the record for the lowest vice president in history.
Reasons. Number one, she doesn't appear to be prepared. Number two, no matter how well prepared you are, you have to be able to express yourself. With respect, I would say the vice president needs to work on being a little more articulate. A cynic might say that based on her performances, that English is not her first, second, third, or even fourth language.
Probably not.
I love Venn diagrams. It's just something about those three circles and the analysis about where there is the intersection, right? Yeah, I see people that you agree with me, right?
Not at all.
But number three, You know, I think sound advice for anyone, politician or not, is always be yourself unless you suck. And if you suck, have enough self-awareness to know you suck and try to do better.
It was good. It was good.
Politician or not, is always be yourself unless you suck.
Oh, she sucks from what we hear. We hear she sucks for sure. That's all I'll say with all of the freaking golf balls through a garden hose jokes we have put out there over the years. She sucks. But you know what? She's not the only one who sucks. All of the fucking Democrats suck. So in this week's Know Your Parasite, we feature Gavin Newsom and wife Kimberly Guilfoyle. Remember this when they were sprawled out on the Ann Gettings rug in San Francisco in 2004? Well, you know, those were back in his ambitious days. He's not ambitious anymore because he's already got it in the bag. So yeah, that was just bad taste, but they don't do stuff like that anymore, right? Right. Well, I decided since we were doing a Democrat suck segment, I couldn't leave out Chucky Schumer. What's Chucky Schumer up to? Chucky Schumer blasts conservative justice for accepting gifts from ideological extremists. Yeah, how dare them? Only the Democrats are allowed to do that, and justice at that. Oh my gosh. So meanwhile, New York Times report reveals Justice Clarence Thomas provided members of an executive club he's a part of a rare access to the court. But Chucky, you never show favoritism. But that's not the only thing Chucky's been up to this week. So there's a popular energy drink, and some of you guys might know this. It's Logan Paul, and well, it's called Prime, and it's just like Monster or Red Bull or any one of those heart attack givers, right? Well, Chucky's on the fucking warpath, and he's gonna get rid of it. Here, let's go find the article for this one because there's a video in it I want you guys to see. With everything that's going on in the world that Chucky could be fighting for, you know, wages, Medicare for all, I don't know, college for your kids. No, he's going to save one kid at a time by taking that energy drink out of their fucking hand. So let's see if I got past the commercial. Sometimes they make me watch a commercial first. Of course, they're making me watch a commercial. Even though I watched a commercial yesterday.
I was so self-conscious.
31 seconds? Well, here, you guys can watch it with
my buddy turned me on to Lumen.
If I gotta watch it, you gotta watch it too.
It's simple.
Oh, I can skip it.
Steps.
Nice.
Looking to sell your house quickly?
No,
and
what? I got
hassle-free?
another
We
one?
are real estate
3,
investors.
2,
We
1.
specialize in buying
Oh my
homes
God, this is why I
as-
can't watch any ads. That's not even the one I was looking for. Oh, here it is. Okay, so now I'm forced watching that one. How do I stop it? Okay. So here is the tweet. Voters know that the court is just out of touch. Oh no, that's Roe. Believe me, I'm gonna bag on Roe. I got him further down there. Jen Psaki. I was looking for the one where she's interviewing Chucky. I thought it was in this article. Chuck Schumer. Oh, that's the justice. I got the wrong article. Where's the other article? Is this it? Oh, I found it. It's a different one. There was 2 Chucky articles up on my deck. Okay. Give me a second. We'll find it. I will find it. It's Monday. I swear to God, it's a Monday in my head. It's a Monday. Ben and Jerry's, Palace, Biden's broke protocol. He did he? I don't know. Chuck Schumer criticizes conservative justice. Okay, lawmakers. Here we go. This is what, when you have too many articles. Okay, I don't think
from
there's
lawmakers and health experts. Senator Chuck Schumer called on the FDA to investigate Prime, a beverage brand founded by YouTube stars Logan Paul and KSI. Schumer said buyers and parents need to be made aware of serious health concerns for kids. Prime is advertised to be zero sugar and vegan friendly and is among a growing number of energy drinks with elevated levels of caffeine. The beverage is sold with 200 milligrams per 12 ounces of caffeine, which is equivalent to nearly 6 Coke cans or almost 2 Red Bulls. The YouTuber started selling a separate sports drink known as Prime Hydration that contains no caffeine at all, but Schumer claims there was little noticeable difference in the online marketing of the 2 drinks, which means buyers could end up with the caffeine drinks. Prime has not yet commented on the claims.
Yes, what they're pushing for is to make sure anyone below the
Anybody below the age limit can't buy it, yada, yada. You know, I'm so glad that Chucky's out there helping the people of America. He's saving kids one at a time, right? So even if he gets rid of Logan Paul's energy drink Prime, there's 3,000 other ones that kids can have access to. So what are you really doing, Chucky? Would Logan Paul make fun of him, or did he vote Republican and that's why he singled him out? I don't know, but he better watch out. You know, Logan Paul, he's got probably a little bit more power than Chucky does these days. It seems like these big influencers, they got the power, right? So stupid. It's so stupid. With everything that's going on in the world, that's what he's concerned with. And I'm sure there was a small handful of mothers that were like, oh, this is important. And he was like, yeah, you know what? This one won't piss anybody off. I don't have to get any support for it. So yeah, I'll jump on the bandwagon for you for this one. So gross. Okay, let's talk about Mariana Williamson. Bye-bye. We've been calling this one for how long? Oh my gosh. So this is Kyle and Crystal, of course. They hung out with her and she ordained their wedding, whatever. But I brought this because I wanted to point out to you, they are narcissistic and disgusting enough that they made their own fucking symbol with their names for their fucking wedding. How gross. How gross is it that they think that they need symbolism at their wedding because they're that elite? That is just gross. And why does it look like a Klan sign? That's all I'm going to say. It looks like a Klan sign. So yeah, Marianne Williamson, her campaign, what was this? Her national field director, skirting her and burning her to the ground yesterday. So her campaign is not a campaign. It is a book tour. Here's how I know. I was the national field director and I was fired along with anyone who mentioned ballot access or a field plan. Her focus is only on events and social media. I was half joking a month ago that this is a book tour. I found out on the day that I was fired that she has a book coming out in September. Color me shocked. Not even. When I brought it up in a staff called that we still don't have ballot access in any state, she claimed ballot access is mythical stuff. It's mythical. This is insane. Myself, the national field director, and my partner, the field strategist, were let go after we toiled to make a solid national field plan and how to pivot to political director roles to fill in gaps so we could finish the field plan. We weren't allowed to complete our roles because of mythical stuff. Mariana has fired those who know how to make a campaign win and keeps and promotes those who are only event and social media aware. Book tour again. She has no ballot access and doesn't care. Calls ballot access mythical stuff. She fires anyone who has an semblance of a field. She promoted the New Hampshire state director to her campaign manager. His name is Carlos. He knows nothing about national campaigns. By the way, I've only worked on national campaigns for the past 8 years, nor has he any experience in the field, which is what it takes to reach the voters. Yes, if you've done any field work. Mariana is a grifter. Do not support her. She is here to sell her book coming out in September, and that is all she is here for. If she wanted to win, she would listen to the magnitude of experts that were on her campaign before she fired them all, giving advice and directions. She fired them for giving her advice and directions. I worked for her, and I am all the more sad for it because I was duped. I thought I was more aware than that. Go ahead, Marianne. Shoot me a cease and desist because I will do neither. Your campaign has no hold because you are a grifting fraud. Oh, we knew that was coming with the amount of staffers we heard she was freaking running through, right? as a manager, and I've managed many businesses in my life, that's one of the great parts of being a low wage Gemini slave is I've worked at a lot of places. I've managed a lot of places, stores and businesses and whatnot. And yeah, it's always the ones that know what they're doing that they get rid of first, right? And it's always a sign of the boss when you have a turnover problem. I've worked for 2 employers in the last 10 years that had a turnover problem, and it was 100% them. It was not those employees. Those employees were doing what they were supposed to be doing. They were there doing exactly what they were hired to do. It's these bosses that have, their own agendas that run through employees. I've seen it so many damn times, and they love to blame it on the employees because most states are fire at will, meaning we can just fire you because we want to. So I'm sure that Marianne's that way too. I wonder what her book's about, how to grift in in a presidential election. I got to tell you, Bernie was a lot like this, guys. I called it in 2017. We knew Bernie was getting ready to hit the campaign, or I mean the book tour trail. I knew. I was like, I could just tell everything Bernie was doing was setting up to push a book. And that's exactly what happened. How many books has Bernie dropped since 2016? I think 2 or 3. We have other choices out there, and here's a couple of them. So the Gilded Age is over. The People's Age is beginning. Dr. Cornel West. I got to tell you guys, if I had to vote today, my vote would go to Cornel, because I just will not vote for anybody inside the Democratic Party. Now, I think what Bobby is saying about mandates is so, so, so important. And if he wasn't inside the Democratic Party and delusional, I might actually support him. And Dennis Kucinich. I have a really well-known lesbian friend that looks just like Dennis Kucinich. So I always see her when I see that picture. My bad. The New York Post. God, love them or hate them. Sometimes they're just talking shit. Most of the time they're just talking shit. Waterworld, New York floods, leaving a trail of destruction. Do you guys see this? Or some of you guys live out that way, right? You know what? I never ask you guys, where are you coming from? Drop in the chat where you guys are all watching from. I never know where all of you guys are at. So I know we got some overseas, but I want to know. So drop in the link where you're from. Garland Nixon might run. Oh my God, I would totally get on board for that. Love me some Garland. Old Yeller, White House staff is in fear of Kindly Joe's wrath, aide said. Now, this is a total... that is a trait of dementia. It 100% is. We call it sundowners in the business, right? They wake up, they're in a great mood for what they remember, and as the day goes on and they get more worn down, they get very short-tempered. It's like having a 2-year-old, and every little thing sets them off for a temper tantrum, mainly because they are lost. They don't remember where they are or why they came into this room or who you are or why you're talking to them. Chicago, love my Chicago peeps. And they do this. So I absolutely believe that Biden is probably melting down and losing his shit behind closed doors constantly. He probably screams at aides constantly. I can't even imagine. I can't imagine what the staffers at the White House are dealing with nowadays. That's so insane. Ohio. Hey, Ohio. My city was gone. I love me some pretenders. Jax is in Baja. Big surf. Nice. Jilly. Hey, DC. Indiana. I love me some Indiana. I've been to Indiana a couple of times. I got some good friends in Indiana. Texas, Mexico border. Been down there too. I've been all over this great country. Chicago, of course. Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've been to Tulsa, Oklahoma. A little flat, but I liked it. Shit Biston, California. Cali. You guys are close to me. Of course, I'm in Washington State, Orange County, California. Good to know. Let's see. So I got some over here. Tennessee. You know what? I haven't been all the way into Tennessee. My mother-in-law, one of my mother-in-laws, because, I was married 5 times. I'm the Elizabeth Taylor of my family. But one of them was from Tennessee. And I know Kentucky's beautiful. So I got to imagine Tennessee is just as beautiful. Just one of those little spots haven't managed to go through in the country yet. LA. We love LA. Not lately, though. Denver. Oh, it's Denver. Denver's not from Denver. Denver, are you from Denver? I'm just asking. I'm just asking. The belly of the beast. You're in DC, Rat Angel. The belly of the beast. Been there many times. I love Ohio. You know, I spent some time in West Virginia, and I would have to go to Ohio to buy stuff, if you know what I mean. So Ohio seems to have a little bit better things, it seems like. You're from Tennessee. I know you're from Tennessee, Chad. I would love to go to Tennessee. I really would. I've never been to Nashville. As much as I am a music freak, I can't believe I've never been to Nashville. Well, that was fun. Okay, let's move on. What do we got? Oh, flooding. Let's look at some of this flooding. And guys, I gotta tell you, you see flooding like this, don't fucking walk up to it to record it. Let's use some common sense. I know you guys wouldn't, but God, there's some dumb people in the world.
Oh, that's insane. Woo. That is wild.
This is Dabu 7.
Dabu.
And that there was Route 218. And it is cut off now from Cornwall to West Point as New York State, getting hammered big time. The surrounding areas around West Point Military Academy, they had seen somewhere between 7 and 8 inches fall in 3 hours of time. This is what they're calling a 1,000-year flood. You can see this roadway on the left has turned into a bowl. There's many vehicles stranded. It's turned into a huge pool. And here the roadway on the right completely washed out, as I just showed you. This is what I call a rain bomb. When these things come through and they drop this much water.
Yeah, because that's natural.
In a short period of time. We've witnessed this many times in the past few years. I feel like this is targeted weather events. And we've lived through it here in Kentucky. They hit us with the same thing.
Yeah.
What they want to call a 1,000-year flood event. People still missing from that event. Homes shattered, still not recovered. Homes with X's on them all down through the areas. That's what these people can look forward to now. As I'm telling you, these engineered events are being rolled out. It's like warfare on the people, straight up.
Straight up, Dabu. I agree with you. This is warfare on the people, but most of the people don't even understand that this is happening, that it's intentional, and that they're doing it on purpose. We always talk about geoengineering here on my channel, and I do believe that that is more geoengineering. Okay, so I'm going to bring a report on Friday. I'm going to bring you a Lake Mead and a Lake Powell update. Now, you guys know last spring, last summer, I was on top of that shit because once the water's gone, then the water wars begin. And these are the beginning of the water wars that most people don't realize this is what's happening. So they're moving our precipitation around the country. They're changing our atmospheric jet stream. Hence why the weather is so weird everywhere, right? We have record lows all week this week in the Pacific Northwest, while we have mass rainstorms, and we're even seeing snow globally in some places. It's mind-boggling. But I'm going to bring you a Lake Mead update. You guys are going to be shocked at about how high the water level is. Now, I brought you guys some great footage last year from Sin City Outdoors. If you don't follow them, go follow them. And they updated us for the first time because they took a lot of hits, YouTube strikes, like it was crazy. You're not allowed to report the weather anymore, apparently. But they got a new video out this week. So I'm going to bring you an update. We're going to go look at some of the old water levels and where the water level is now. And it's kind of mind melting just how much rain has came in. And they think it's going to continue. They think that the lake's going to continue to rise level wise, which is a good thing, right? But is it a good thing if they're stealing that rain from somewhere else and putting it in Lake Mead? And let's see, Johannesburg gets first snowfall in more than a decade. Oh, look at that. It's snowing. Snow, 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 snow. I'm not ready for winter, guys. I'm not ready for snow. I haven't even got my fill of summer yet. It hasn't been really nice here yet. It's crappy out right now. We got a lot of rain in California. That's what I'm saying. The West Coast, we should be hot and nice right now, but they are pushing that fucking jet stream. So it's coming down in the middle of the United States, and therefore we're not getting hot. The hot is in the middle. So maybe I'll bring a Ryan Hall, y'all. We'll get kind of caught up on what's going on. So yeah, Friday we'll do a weather report because we haven't done one in a while. It's kind of crazy out there. Stay warm, stay cool, stay dry, stay hydrated wherever you are because these are crazy times. Let's talk about the BRICS. Did you hear yesterday they announced that they are going to back it by gold? What? They're going to have an actual currency that's backed by gold? We used to. Kind of.
Own currency to get away from the US dollar because it seems like they're tired of putting up with the US's bullshit. That's right, these BRIC nations are trying to get away from the dollar by creating their own currency, and what makes it even more of a threat to the dollar, going to be backed by gold, which is better than what the dollar is backed by, which is hopes, dreams, wishes in the American way, like basically nothing. It's not backed by anything. And maybe the US wouldn't be that threatened if it was only BRIC nations joining this currency, except for it's not just BRIC nations. It's a plethora of nations that are tired of being beholden to the US dollar. But the truth is, we do have something to worry about because usually whenever the US feels threatened or they feel that their dollar is being threatened, that's when they start trying to go to war with people. So although this may be great long-term for international relations and the international economy, how will the US react when they are backed into a corner like a wounded dog? That remains to be seen.
I gotta say, good job, Nico. I'm really liking these little shorts that Nico's putting out. It's a lot of information packed really fast and hard. Boom, 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 get it out there. And I know everybody's like, why aren't you guys doing shorts? I just haven't tackled it yet, but Nico's doing a great job. Nico House, go follow him, MCSC Network. And yeah, he's absolutely right. And why is this happening? Well, when you look at countries, let's take Argentina, for instance, right? Anything we loaned them, anything that we've helped them out with in the last fucking 100 years, right? We have a contract with, you got to pay us back. But here's the thing. They're not allowed to pay us back in their currency. They have to pay us back in our currency. God damn this camera. And because of that, it hurts their countries when they have to cash out their assets and switch them into the American petrodollar just so they can fucking pay us. That is when their countries see mass inflation. That's how we hurt these countries, is by making them pay in the petrodollar, American dollar. Well, they're not going to be doing that anymore because they got their own. And that's exactly when we go to war, right? And it's not looking very good for the U.S. because more and more countries are coming on and saying, we are done with this shit. We are done with you bullying us. And then China comes in with the New Silk Road Initiative, where they're actually helping these countries out. Now, whether they're doing it for, some deceptive purpose, probably, but the way they're going about it is so much different than the United States. We'll go in and we'll build them a port, and then we'll say, well, when you can't pay us back, you can just give us the property and we'll take over and we'll take care of shit, instead of demanding that they pay us back in currency. So there's a lot going on there, and go watch Combo Couch. They've done a great job of breaking it down. There was a Combo Couch yesterday. Did you know? I watched. Oh, did you guys see this total Freudian slip from the State Department? These asshats, he can't even get the fucking lie straight no matter what he does. He even realizes he's screwing up and he still screws up.
A few things. So I will say, with respect to your first question, we believe the war has been a strategic failure for Ukraine. The Secretary spoke to this in a speech he gave in Helsinki last month, I believe it was. What's that? So, I'm sorry, a strategic failure for Ukraine. Thank you for the correction. Which is, I need more than one correction today. This is the first time at the podium for a week. I'm apparently a little rusty.
No, that was Freudian. That was 100% fucking Freudian. I don't care what you say. That's why he couldn't get it fixed in his head, because behind closed doors, they're talking about how the Ukraine is a failed strategy. And that's why it kept coming out of his mouth that way, because everybody knows it's a failed strategy. Me and this camera are going to go fucking rounds if it doesn't stop being cloudy on me. I just can't move. It doesn't seem to want to adjust. So Americans are the dumbest people on earth. Let's see. Senator Marsha Blackburn, what do you think is the biggest threat to U.S. as of present? Climate change, China, or inflation? Because those are all three things that I'm fearing right now. I would say inflation should have won, but yeah, China is the winner, and we're looking at almost 50,000 votes here. 50,000 Americans think that they need to be scared of China. And yeah, I agree. Americans are the dumbest people on the earth. We truly are. Propagandized enough to think that a country wants to take us over when they really don't. So gross. Gregory Walker, good morning. Super Ray, rated R. Okay, thanks for letting me know it's rated R. You know I got no shits to give about that, though. Nico is wrong on dollar is backed by a nuke and a bullet. As for Kamala, she has to suck because it's the only thing she's been good at. Oh, yeah, we know Willie. That's how she got her job, right? Willie Brown. Other problems is when you fuck your way to the top and get to the top and there's no skill to explain how you got there. I agree with you 100%. People could call me sexist for saying that, but it's the reality and the truth when you know her history. She basically was the mistress of the San Francisco mayor for years. That's how she got involved in politics. And when they say she wore knee pads to get where she's at, she 100% did. And you go look at her appointments. She got a couple appointments because of Willie, her boyfriend. And then from there, she worked her way into vice president. That is no lie. So I'm not going to give you shit about that, Gregory. You're right. And yeah, it may not be cool to say it or couth to say it, but that's the reality of how she got where she's at. Okay, now this one is tough. I'm going to have to read it to you because it's subtitles, but this is a Fee Says. You guys know I love to bring you what Fee says. Fee shared this out, so I felt like it was important to share it with everybody. So let me get it brought up and queued up, and then I'm going to do my best to read the subtitles as fast as I can, because what this Russian soldier is saying is 100% true. Oh, God damn it. Come on, why can't I get to the mute? That stupid thing's always in the way. Okay, we're going to do this. We'll escape out of it. And then I will hit play. Oh, no, that's not it. Okay, now pause. Now make it bigger. Step after step. Okay. So I'm speaking about everything at once in general. In our society, due to the Americans' control of the internet, all information is being controlled globally. It's been that way since the 90s. An entire generation of ours has been brainwashed that everything is fucking great over there. Everything is amazing, a paradise on earth, a fucking beacon of democracy, all that shit. And we've got that shit. Our government is shit. Our lawmakers are shit. The police are jackasses. It's nothing but crap everywhere. Even though we're built, every family has fucking cars, and at least one or two of them for sure. If someone has no car in the family, then it simply does wish to buy one and he can get a driver's license. But if they're there, after the 80s, every wealth was gone by a shitload. So he's talking about Russia. They've been trying to sell us that we live in shit and crap, while in the West, here's an example from the war. Fuck. The leopards, the leopards tanks, they're shit. They are shit. They fucking equipment is super fucking amazing fucking shit. They're fucking got hair, bath, and fucking blood. They're leopards. They're no automatic reloading. They're super heavy. They get stuck. They're total wreck. Right there across from us, a fucking ton of them are stuck. The whole fucking cemetery there. Their same thing happens with their coolest Abrams. It's just over advertised junk. And the takeaway are military vehicles against theirs. Ours run on any fuel and they're easy fix, literally anywhere. Our equipment is meant for war. And theirs is meant for weak showing off. They're fucking nothing but showing off. Look at how cool it is. I have all these fucking bells and whistles. Fuck this, fuck that. They are salesmen, so they push this shit all over the world. They're patriots is a total piece of shit. Our airplanes fucking one shot, and that Patriot fired 35 rockets into their fake target, and other planes calmly fuck it up. They amazing patriots. They push to everybody and their mothers to Korea, Japan. And it turns out that we are capable of going through this. Like, those Americans aren't a big deal. They shit themselves and they will shit themselves more. It's fucking done. Awesome. Thank you. I love the mouths on the Russians. I got to tell you, they got a bad mouth like I do. But those are absolutely great points. Absolutely great points. We make our weaponry to show off. We don't make it to actually withstand war. And that is a great valid point that he is making. I love it too. I love it too. Good share fee. And that's the reality of the situation. And that's why the Ukraine is a strategic failure. Oh, did they say that out loud again? Yes, they did. So, oh my gosh, this was so gross. I know you guys saw this shit yesterday. So, of course, Zelensky wants to join NATO and they don't like him. They don't like him at all. Look, nobody even wants to talk to him. So, what was this all about? Now, when you look at NATO's rules, and Garland Nixon did a great breakdown of this last night. If you're looking for good input on what is going on with this NATO situation, go over to Garland Nixon. He's on Rockfin. I think he's on YouTube too. He's absolutely right when he says that who are these people? Who is NATO? These are the ruling elites, the ruling families of Europe. That's what they are. That's what they are. And they're not going to let Zelensky into their party because a couple of different reasons. For one, their own charter and rules say you can't be at war to join NATO. For two, you have to define where your borders are and know where your borders are. And yeah, they can't do that. I mean, there's multiple reasons why this is not going to happen. And the funniest thing about this shit going down yesterday is he walked in there like he owned that fucking place, because let me tell you, he thinks he's got Biden and the regime behind him. So he's just like, and Biden, he's saying, fuck NATO, fuck the EU. We don't care what they think. We'll do what we want. And that is the attitude Zelensky had when he went in there. And they were just like, whatever, dude. Yeah, he looks a little left out in this picture. Macron seems happy and fine, right? No worries that his country's burning to the ground because, hey, we'll just lock him up. I got police. This right here, this is a picture of the people, that small handful we're always talking about that control us. Yeah, those are some of them. Those are absolutely some of them. So gross. But yeah, Zelensky didn't look happy. And oh, look, they don't want to shake his hand. Why doesn't the Secretary of NATO want to shake his hand? Oh, he looks a little hesitant. And yes, this is what happens to, leaders that jump on board with the U.S. and do their bidding. RIP. Because I have a feeling you're probably next. They will do away with him when they're done with him. I mean, he's pocketing hundreds of millions of dollars, right? We know this. I mean, we've heard actual numbers like, oh, 235 million went straight into his pocket. He's not paying his goddamn generals, which is pissing his generals off because they want to steal money too. And, they always do it to where they're killed by their own people. Look at Gaddafi, right? So when will the Ukrainian people rise up and beat him with his own arms? Probably soon. Skavara, is that how you say it? Skaharva stated that NATO is already at war with Russia. And the true reason for the denial is that allowing Ukraine into NATO would require official recognition of the Ukrainians' borders. This is unacceptable to the alliance because there is an intention to annex Western Ukraine to Poland at the conclusion of this war. So Poland wants the Ukrainian land. They don't even want a Ukraine. So for all of this shit that we're playing about, oh, it's about the Ukrainian people, we must save the Ukrainian people, at the end of the day, they just want to annex it. They don't even want to keep it. So crazy. And okay, so this is Roseanne Barr. Whether you love Roseanne Barr or not, I could give a shit less. I love her because I grew up in a trailer park and she was the only person I saw on TV as a child growing up that I related to, that I recognized as my kind of lifestyle. Working class, bunch of kids, trying to make ends meet, trying to be a good person. That's what I saw in Roseanne Barr. And yeah, Hollywood tried to tear her ass down for making a joke. She's a comic. I remember in the 70s and 80s when we had real comics and they said shit that upset you, but that was the point. So this is a gross interview, but with Piers Morgan, right? He's so gross. But Roseanne burns him to the ground and she's got such valid points. Oh, God.
Disparate ideas in their head at the same time because they're fed bullshit 24/7 over the media. And I'm about to go crazy sitting here on the earphone hearing the stuff you all are saying about the Ukraine. I'm about to have a heart attack, but I'm not even going to go into it. I'm from the Ukraine. The Ukrainian, there is a large faction of Nazis. I don't know if you know this, but there's a large amount of Nazis in the Ukraine, and they actually killed my whole family. I'm from the Ukraine, and they marched my entire family, grandmothers, great-grandparents, 10 siblings out into the forest and buried them alive in the Ukraine. So I don't understand why everybody's Ukraine. Well, I do understand, and that's also what terrifies me. People better wake up and do some research on their own instead of buying what comes across on the screen. And I try to shake them up, Pierce. You're goddamn right I do. I try to shake them up and crack their mind control programming. I do it for God.
Ukraine. I know what you said, and you're perfectly entitled to your views. I would say in relation to the suggestion that they're all a bunch of
Nazis.
You
haven't seen the swastikas on those
Roseanne,
soldiers' arms.
The
It's in
President
the
Zelensky
news.
himself is Jewish, so obviously he is de facto not a Nazi.
I know, but he's not a good one. Are all Jews the same? For God's sake, talk about anti-Semitic. Just because the guy's a Jew doesn't mean he likes Jews or that he's doing anything good for the Jews. I mean, so what? Who cares what anybody is? That was the whole point of my tweet. Just because they're skin folk don't mean they're kin folk. You know what I mean? Just because they're the same color as you don't mean they ain't trying to lock your ass up. Wake up, people!
Wake up, people! Oh my God, I had the same argument in a back room 5 years ago, 3 years ago. Oz, you were there, and I said the same thing. It doesn't matter if I'm a Jew, they'll still fucking lock me up because I oppose what they're fucking doing, and that is the fucking bottom line. And you go, Roseanne. You go. Damn, Roseanne is on fire. Yeah, that's why I had to bring it. And I'll probably take copyright for it, but whatever. I take a copyright every day, so it's worth it. Oh, did you wake up to this same bullshit that I saw this morning? And that is the fraud squad out there, shilling and crying about the cluster munitions that they voted for. So Ilhan Omar, cluster munitions are illegal under international law. They scatter multiple, often unexploded bombs over a wide area. Innocent people are still being killed by them in Vietnam 50 years after the war. Yes, don't forget Kosovo too. We always leave Kosovo off this list. I don't know why. This is why I'm co-leading the amendment with Sarah Jacobs, California, to block it. Let's see if they get anywhere with that. And Ro Khanna, we should ban cluster bombs and not deploy them. Of course, I saw many of you guys in the chats, the threads, just tearing them the fuck up. And of course, I had to pile on too. Then why are you voting for this? Why did you keep voting for this? It seems like you guys are the ones that kept voting to send money. There was no opposition, just whatever you want, whatever you need, we're going to give it to you. It's so disgusting. And this one's a little hard to read, but let's see. Let's not forget that Ro tweeted this shit out. This is a dangerous development. This will only escalate tensions in a conflict that we have already killed over 10,000 Ukrainians. Our government should be actively promoting a negotiated solution, not in introducing more lethal weaponry. Yeah, that was 3/1/18. So that was 2018 when he's saying this, back when he used to lie to us and shill, right? I was moved and inspired by President Zelensky this morning. His pain at the senseless murders of babies and children by Putin with Palabo. We must provide Ukraine with more weapons and money to wage a fight for their freedom and their survival. Of course, that was 3/16/22. Boy, how times changed just in 4 years. And let us not forget that the wife of Democratic Representative Ro Khanna of California, Ritra Kohan, I don't know, invested under up to several $100,000 in a collection of defense contractor stocks at some point in 2020. Ooh, I wonder what she knew in 2020, including Boeing, General Dynamics, General Electric, Honeywell, Northrop Grumman, and Raytheon. Oh my fucking God, that is like the main five, isn't it? That is the top 5 weapons developers in the fucking world. Ro Khanna served on the House Armed Service Committee then, and he does now in his 3rd term as a member of Congress. So he's still on that fucking committee. And is it just a coincidence that his wife knew to get invested into all of the biggest weapons manufacturers in the country? While Ritu, is that how you say it? Ritu? Sold many of those stocks before 2021. She has made several 4 or 5 figure trades in Honeywell in 2021, according to a financial disclosure forum, Federal Financial Disclosure Forums. Now, I had a local meeting in 2018, and I brought in trying to think of the name of it. They're one of the bigger anti-nuke groups. And it was about divesting, right? Because how do we hurt them? We hurt them in their pocketbook. We hurt them where it hurts them most, and that is in their bottom line. And Honeywell was the biggest one I screamed about. Like, people need to stop buying Honeywell shit. You don't go to Home Depot and pick up a thermostat and think that it's made by a company that is dropping bombs on children on the other side of the world. But that is the reality of it. So every time you go and you turn your heat up and you see that little Honeywell logo, know that, you know what? We're supporting bombing of children with this shit. So there's so many that I've published the list a couple of times. There's literally hundreds of these corporations that need divested. And most people don't even realize that their 401ks are parked in a lot of this shit. They're all bundled up, the Vanguard, the whatever, you'll see 4 or 5 names that your money's going into those accounts, but you don't know everything that those accounts are paying for. And yeah, it's our 401ks here in the United States that are funding this shit ultimately. What is this? Go start. I added Ro to my NFO memes. Oh, I gotta see. What is it? Oh, it won't let me. It won't let me click on it. I'll click on it after the show because the chat's a little different. It does weird shit. And months after divesting, Ro Khanna's spouse keeps trading fossil fuels and defense stocks. So, when we called his ass out on this, he said, oh, we're going to divest. We divest. We're getting rid of all of these. So, we didn't know we're trading them out. But that's funny because she traded in some for others. So she dumped a bunch and picked up Phillips 66 and General Dynamic. Oh, well, she knows who to pick and choose, it sounds like. You want to make money, start following Pelosi and the squad's fucking trades, because that seems to be where the money is. But, the squad. And then we funded Nazis. Pramila, Bernie, Ilhan, we know. We've been calling you out for it. But they're going to start a resolution. So the resolution is just like Ro the Ho con man. Yeah, I had my baby Roho in there somewhere. Where is it? There's baby Roho. There he is. Baby Roho that's our general baby Roho. That is Ro's face on that. I don't know, some old meme that got made, but yeah, Ro is a con man ho for sure. Let's hear from Glenn Greenwald, system update on YouTube censorship. And yeah, YouTube, God, you're so bad. You're so bad, YouTube.
One of the richest and most powerful corporations in the world, in history, Google, is deciding what it is that you can and can't hear. And what you can and can't hear completely aligns with establishment orthodoxy and the establishment agenda. There's no difference. It's not like Google's over here banning the views that establishment political figures in Washington believe in. They're enforcing the pieties of the most powerful people in the country, the establishment wings of both political parties and of the most powerful pharmaceutical companies and the people in academia who have decided that everyone must affirm new gender ideology and not just be scorned if you don't, but be censored and silenced by the world's most powerful corporations. Now, this is the question I want to ask. Oftentimes, it is always the case that censorship is a tool of the powerful used against dissidents and the marginalized. That is true by definition. Whoever has the power to censor in a society, by definition, is the institution of authority, is the center of power.
I got the power.
Censorship is always a tool of the powerful used against dissidents and the marginalized. That's why it's so logically absurd for left-wing censorship advocates to claim that censorship is necessary to protect the marginalized. Why would the people with power, who wield enough power to censor, the US government, the FBI, Homeland Security, the CIA, and American tech billionaires, why would they use the censorship power to protect the marginalized?
Why would they?
They're not the marginalized, they're the establishment. Those are the institutions of American power, American political and corporate and financial power. The people who get censored are always dissidents and the marginalized. And one of the ways that you can distinguish between people who serve establishment power and people who threaten and challenge establishment power are by looking at who is censored and who isn't. So the mainstream left in the United States, talking about the left wing of the Democratic Party, the people who are very loyal to Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton, even while pretending they're dissidents to the Democratic Party, the people who urge their followers to vote for the Democratic Party, the people who are led by people like Bernie Sanders and AOC and who like to fancy themselves as radical, those people are never, ever, ever censored.
Yep.
Can you even imagine Bernie Sanders or AOC being censored by YouTube, by Google, by Facebook, by Twitter?
No.
It's completely inconceivable.
Yeah.
That's because Bernie Sanders and AOC and their followers are completely harmless to establishment power.
Yep.
They're servants of establishment power. They're tools of establishment power. Bernie Sanders and AOC have already endorsed Joe Biden's re-election campaign. They didn't get anything in return for it. They didn't demand anything in return for it. They didn't wait to see who else was running against him. There's a left-wing challenge to Joe Biden in Marianne Williamson.
Not really.
There's an actual anti-establishment figure in RFK Jr., who is very critical of Biden's belligerence toward both Russia and China, who's a vocal critic of the pharmaceutical industry and its ability to capture regulations in the United States and regulatory agencies. That is the threat to establishment power. That's why RFK Jr. is being censored and Bernie and AOC never, ever would be. Bernie and AOC are major cultural celebrities. They are on the Sunday shows every single week.
Oh, yeah.
They go on late night network programs all the time. AOC went to the Met Gala. Granted, she wore a very radical and threatening dress.
Oh, yeah. They were
designer
so
gown,
threatened by her.
But she went to the Met Gala. Because these are the most valuable tools to establishment power that exist. That's why it is not just the case that AOC and Bernie are never censored by big tech. You can't even imagine that happening. It would be completely inconceivable. That would be shocking.
Yeah.
Because they never say anything that is a threat to establishment power. Everything they say advances establishment power, and that's why it's unimaginable. Meanwhile, Jordan Peterson and RFK Jr. are constantly censored by big tech. It is very common for right-wing, anti-establishment populist figures to be censored by big tech. Let us remember that the sitting president of the United States, Donald Trump, was censored by big tech in collusion.
Yeah.
When Facebook, Google, and Twitter all banded together to remove the sitting president of the United States, the elected president, from the internet by banning his accounts.
All started with Alex Jones.
Even foreign leaders and countries like Germany and France and Mexico that have no love for Donald Trump were horrified by that and protested how anti-democratic that was to have corporate giants determining who is and is not allowed on the internet. And it is incredibly menacing because it means that dissidents to establishment power and dissidents to establishment orthodoxy are no longer allowed to be heard. That's what the censorship regime is for. And it's extremely telling who is targeted by it and who is not.
That was a 5.5-minute clip, and you guys know I don't do big long clips like that, but Glenn is so easy to listen to. He just takes you there so fast with the point. And the point of this was, if Bernie and the squad were actual threats, they would censor them, and they absolutely don't censor them. Now, I remember in 2016, we thought Bernie was censored, right? We would, oh my God, CNN won't show Bernie. They'd rather show an empty podium of Trump than to actually an interview of Bernie's. That wasn't censorship. We thought that was censorship. I now know what true censorship really freaking is. And yeah, they're not a threat at all. And, you know, Jordan Peterson, not a big fan. I mean, sometimes he says stuff I agree with. Most of the time he says stuff where I go, ugh, what a disgusting, but he still has the right to say it. And these putting people through training, what is it? He had to go through some kind of sensitivity type training, right? And they have their Orwellian ways, and it's just going to get worse. And it is getting worse. I mean, I'm seeing it on every platform I'm on, you know, and I'm not going to talk shit about Rumble, but Rumble, what's up, man? If you're not on the main page, nobody sees you ever. What's up with that? What is the point of your platform? What is the point? I'm just asking because I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. Kick, I'm liking you so far. You're doing good. Did you guys hear this story? This one kind of blew past, and I didn't really hear anybody talking about that. And of course, I brought the original story last week with Ben Cohen, of course, Ben and Jerry's founder. He got arrested last week in front of the Department of Justice for Julian Assange. And right around that same time, he tweeted out 4th of July, this 4th of July, it's high time we recognize that the U.S. exists on stolen indigenous land and committed to returning it. Learn more to take this action, Ben and Jerry's, and he has a link there. The United States was founded on stolen indigenous land. This 4th of July, let's commit to returning it. And of course, he has a couple of flavors out there. Like there's one where he kind of goes after the Ukraine. I can't remember what it's called. I brought it last week. Well, $2 billion Unilever stock loss after Ben Cohen tweeted this out. So that is what they're trying to say, that Unilever, who is the parent company, which is a terrible company, terrible. Ben, what are you doing? Anyways, they are saying that they lost $20 billion in a 24-hour period right off the top of what they consider their, what's going to be their, trying to find the article. I have the article. Here it is. So yeah, they had a drop in their stock, but they had a drop in their stock a couple of weeks ago too, that they seem to recover from. So I think that this is just the media trying to pile on and make it worse than it is, right? And I didn't even bring you guys the Bud Light story. Did you hear about Bud Light? Costco is discontinuing selling Bud Light now. They're clearancing like 36 packs for $14.95, and apparently Costco, when they're discontinuing something, it will have a 7 at the end of the price, so it'll be $14.97. And it will have an asterisk next to it, so that just means they're clearing it out and they're not going to order it again. If it has a 0 on the end of it at Costco, that's discounted. And if it has a 99 at the end or 9 at the end, then it's a regular price. So just know that when you're cruising through Costco, 7 means it's discontinued, 0 means it's discounted, and 9 means that it is regular price. So those are just, all stores have these insider things that they do. I used to work at Target, and I managed the price change team. So yeah, I knew, there's codes. The people that work in the store can just look at that and know exactly what it means. Sometimes the department's shoved in there, whatnot. But now, and we've talked about this. We talked about this last week. Why would America's #1 beer brand be knocked off the peg intentionally? intentionally, because you can't tell me that was accidental. It wasn't accidental. It wasn't some young ideologue who just got out of college decided that she was going to virtue signal and it broke a company. That's not what happened. CEOs of the biggest companies in the world don't let that shit happen. And if they do, they have fall people, and that's exactly what these people were. They were fall people. And yeah, maybe I'll do a report on that on Friday, because I caught it and was like, well, this just seems, it got boycotted. It did get boycotted. And okay, if it's real, if the boycott is real, then there's a lot of fucking people that don't agree with this this rhetoric that they've been putting out there, right? I mean, either way, it speaks huge volumes. Cisco is more ethnic, respects employees and benefits, not Walmart. Cisco, like Cisco Systems that like drops off food for restaurants and stuff. Julie, is that what you're talking about? I used to, I owned an espresso stand. I had a couple of espresso stands and I ordered a lot of Cisco. It's who I got my coffee from. What the fuck? People don't remember that they were devastated years ago. Yeah. I like this little thread. This was funny. So name one thing the government has made cheaper and more efficient. Go. Some of these are great. Bombs. Yeah, bombs. Can I go with cannabis? The legal scheme is causing the quality to go through the roof in Michigan, and the cost has gone down quite a bit too. Now, if the government can just keep their sticky fingers out of it before it gets all effed up, yeah, I hate to say it, but it's all effered up already. And street drugs. What do I win? Yeah. And surveillance. Surveillance was my answer. Definitely, I go with surveillance. They have upped the game on surveillance. They've made it cheaper and more efficient. Thank you for the GPS locator that we put on your ass. So, sometimes I like hanging out with the libertarians. I do. I got to admit it. Oh, did I put this one in? Okay, yeah, I did. What is this? All the world's a sage, and these assholes love to virtue signal on it. And this was yesterday, or this week. So this is so surreal. The socialist Spanish minister uses a private jet to attend a climate conference. 100 meters before the venue, she gets out of her limo and takes off on a bike, and security car follows her there. What? Oh, look at her saving the planet. Look, Mom, I know how to ride a bike. Gross. See, you poors could be doing this every day. Why can't you ride a bike to work, you poors? Why do you got to, she flies in her jet, and then she's got the dude in the car behind her taking pictures. Did you see that? Posers. Well, there's posers everywhere. Sometimes I like when we get these advertisements out. Did you guys see this one? This was in DC for the committee hearings yesterday and the day before. Check it out. Wanted. Let's see who's on there. Big Pharma, Klaus Schwab, Rothschild, Gates, Fauci. I don't know who the one that was unnamed. What is the unnamed one? What does it say? Big Pharma. Okay, Big Pharma. Yeah, definitely. Bravo. That's one of the things I love about DC. Of course, I'm good friends with James. He drives the Assange truck. And I was going to reach out to him and ask him, do you know who this is? Because I love it. Keep doing it. Keep calling their ass out. People see that. We see it. Good news for Trump. The United States has a huge bunker city with a secret McDonald's in it. I'll bet you he's the one who ordered the McDonald's got put in it, right? Of course, I've been telling you guys about DUMBs for many years, which is deep underground military bases, and they got them all over the world, and quite a few of them here in the United States. So good to know they'll have McDonald's when the shit hits the fan, right? The food's so good there, it might keep them alive for a while. Don't eat McDonald's. Just don't do it, guys. Just don't do it. If you knew the amount of Roundup that is in those fucking fries, Okay, so McDonald's uses a special potato. It's a Idaho russet, and they like them because they grow long, and that way they can get a long fry. So that way it sticks out of the little box, right? You got a big long fry. But here's the problem: they don't want any with spots or lines on them. And so they use a lot of glyphosate on them to make them look perfect because McDonald's won't buy them if they're not perfect. So basically, you're just eating an Idaho russet glyphosate potato. That's all you're eating. So don't eat McDonald's, guys. We all know it. Do you think you'll own your own house? Just stop paying taxes or stop paying your property taxes and see what happens. Yeah, we don't own our houses. We don't. Absolutely not. They come, they take them. The housing crisis in this country is going to get worse. And we got a lot of empty houses now. But from everything I'm hearing, it's going to get worse. 20% of homes in the United States have already been snatched up by corporations. And there's a lot of people teetering. And why is this happening? Because this is Amber. I remember you and I talking about this. If Amber's here, I hope you're having a good day, Amber. I know you've had a rough week, but I remember Amber and I talking about this on air a couple of years ago. And we predicted that there was only a few places they could steal your money from. And that was the equity in your home and your retirement. And I mean, they got a lot of our homes and a lot of our retirement in 2008, but this is the smash and grab to fucking get the rest of them, right? It's also lots of nuclear waste in those taters. Yeah, because it's so close to Hanford. Oh God, yeah, I forgot about that, Amber. But yeah, and we knew they were coming for the houses. We knew they were coming for your equity, and that's exactly what they have done. And so yeah, what do we own in this country? Because they can take anything they want from you. They can take your car, they can take your house, they can take everything. Your family, your kids, your job, your life. They want it, they got it. That's how easy it is in this country. Nothing's secure. So yeah, just stop paying your taxes, see how long you own your house. But if you live in a trailer park like I do, taxes are a little bit cheaper. I just gotta say, my taxes, I have this theory now. I'm going to keep my yard and the outside of my house kind of looking exactly how it looks. I mean, I'll manicure it and clean it up a little bit. But as far as renovations, I'm doing only inside. So that way, when that county auditor, county assessor fucking drives by to raise my taxes every year, like she does, I just saw him in here the other day, they don't know what the inside of my place looks like. So basically, I want to look like the dumpiest trailer park fucking house you'll ever see. And then you walk through the doors and it's like, oh, Taj Mahal. That's my goal. That is my goal. It doesn't look like Taj Mahal yet, but maybe someday if I ever win the lotto, that's my plan. They'll think I live in a total, Redneckville mobile, and then it'll be gorgeous on the inside. But let's hear from this trailer park guy. I got this from Jamie Deluxe, friend of the show. I got a couple of Jamie Deluxes we're going to talk about, but this is just funny. I'll probably take a copyright for it, but it's so funny.
Hi, I'm Robert Lee. I own Coleman Liquidation. I sell mobile homes. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to tell it just like it is. These are mobile homes, not mansions. They come in two pieces. If that's what you're looking for, that's what I got. They're used. Some of them have stains. We cover that up. She decorates them. She sells them. These guys help me move them. A bouncer in Birmingham hit me in the face with a crescent wrench 5 times. And my wife's boyfriend broke my jaw with a fence post. So if you don't buy a trailer from me, it ain't gonna hurt my feelings. So come on down to Coleman Liquidation and get yourself a home. Or don't. I don't care.
I love local commercials. That was a local for commercial. That was fucking hilarious. Pyramid 7, you're good friends with Jamie. Jamie is a great guy. I know he's going through some medical issues right now, but we love him. He knows it. I tell him all the time how much I adore his work and how much he inspired me. because Jamie really was one of those people that inspired me. There's a small handful of people that really inspired me over the last 5 years. And Jamie Deluxe, Kit Kobella, just these everyday people who got out there. And I was like, God damn it, if they can do it, I can do it too. So that's where we're at. I love where his wife's boyfriend hit him in the face. That's pretty goddamn bad. That's pretty bad. Gregory Walker, you can own your own home, but you have to rent the land it's on. Exactly. And that's exactly what we do in the trailer park, right? You own your house and then you pay your lot payment or your rental, your space rental is what we call it here. And yeah, but the space rental keeps going up and going up and going up and going up. When I first moved into my trailer park, well, actually, my family owned my place for 20 years. So it was $160 originally, I think, when my mother bought the place. But then, so now we've gone up to it's almost $600 a month just for the lot payment itself. But when you own the house, $600, a hell of a lot cheaper than $2,600 to rent a fucking house, right? So I was laying in bed thinking about it yesterday. I was like, you know what? If I won the lottery, my whole entire life, I have been driven to get the fuck out of a trailer. Like someday I'll have a house with a foundation and real walls and drywall and roof. And I mean, that's always been my desire and my want. I want a real house. I grew up in a mobile home. I've lived in mobile homes. I still live in a mobile home. And then I thought, you know what? Fuck that. If I won the lottery tomorrow, I'd go buy me a 3-level, 3-decker fucking mobile home manufactured. I would. It's almost a defiant thing for me now. Like I am the trailer park and you're never going to get me out of it. So, yeah, trailer park isms. Let's talk about The Sound of Freedom. Of course, they are doing everything they can to tank this movie and it is just killing it. Box office, let's see, it's made 14.8 million. I want to say the first few days. And they really, I mean, for the price that it takes to make these movies, they're making money on this. But they're saying it's fake. There's a bunch of people out there trying to expose Tim Ballard. Tim Ballard is scamming millions of dollars from people while he prefers to rescue children. Not one supported rescue and a $14 million salary. Now, I don't know if that's true. I really don't. But the reason I brought this is because people on the internet were pointing out that he is not only a Mormon, but he is a Freemason. And I know some of you out there, you guys, you got a thing with the Freemasons, right? And the Maltas. And yeah. So Mormons make great FBI and CIA agents. Why they have such a high percentage of agents versus number of Mormons in the U.S. is so high. They are great at believing whatever they're told, but more importantly, at keeping secrets. So you know who doesn't like movies exposing P-words and human traffickers? P-words and human traffickers. Imagine that. So yeah, I'm not going to buy in on the tanking shit, but I don't know. There is good Freemasons in the world. I will say that. I had some in my family. I grew up around the Job's Daughters, and I really wanted to get involved in all that, Eastern Stars and Job's Daughters, because they got to wear beautiful dresses, and that's all I cared about at 12 years old, right? My mother was like, "Are you out of your effing mind?" No. Those people are racist and you are not a part of that group. And yeah, my audio's not good today. Well, I can turn up a little bit. I'll turn up a little bit. I'm sorry. Sometimes we have tech issues, but I don't know. Is he a Freemason? You know, they say that about Russell Brand too. Now, I don't know if you guys watched it. And Kate, I saw you send me that Alex Jones the other day. And I got to admit, I've been watching a little Alex Jones lately. So Alex Jones had on David Icke. You guys know I love David Icke. And one of the things that they pointed out, which I thought was such a fucking valid point, is that since 2016, 2017, 2018, there has been this kind of flood of these independent, big-time media personalities, and Russell Brand is one of them, right? And both David Icke and Alex Jones called him a fucking grifter. Like, they're like, where was he before this? Where was he before? Now he's awake. Now he knows what's going on. Russell is not a Freemason. Okay, good to know. But what is his 33 tattoo all about? You know, there's a lot of people that have asked that question. I'm not talking shit on. I'm just telling you what other people have said, because I have questions, and I don't want to be a dumbass and fall for shit like I always do, right? I don't want to be like, oh, this is a really good person, and then I find out 5 years later that I got duped for 5 years. Because y'all know we've done it. We've all done it. We've all done it. We've all lived in this society for long enough to have believed somebody's bullshit only to come find out that they weren't as open-minded as we thought they were. Now, I don't think that about Russell Brand, but I definitely think that about people like Tom Hartman or, there's just so many that, hell, I used to watch Rachel Maddow and believe what she said. Now, that was 2014, 13 days, but still. What is up with that tattoo? I want to know if he thinks he got the tattoo when he was out on his drugs. Yeah, well, he was married to Katy Perry. And when you know about the elite and the whole sex kitten thing, you go, how the fuck was he married to Katy Perry and he wasn't aware of the global elite's control on everything? Or maybe that's why he is. Maybe he saw it, and that's why he fights. I wish he would give a more honest, open interview about that. I really do. I would trust him. I would feel better about trusting him if he was a little bit more honest about that type of thing. Just my opinion. Justin Trudeau, does he have something wrong with him? I don't know. Is it the jab? Is it some kind of cannibalism system? Shake? I don't know, but check this out. This was him barbecuing. Watch his hand. Watch his left hand. Why is he throwing gang signs? Golden brown. Okay, so I slowed it down. What is up with that? That's even hard to do. I can't even do it. So weird. That is just weird to me. Why is that happening? I can't even do what he was doing. And he's flipping stuff. It seemed involuntary. It seems like some kind of, gang signs. I don't know. It's a folk game sign, Pyramid 7. Yeah, him throwing folk signs. But no, I think that it could be either a precursor to Parkinson's or maybe it's a neurological thing. Boop, boop. I don't know. Or it could be something else. And so this is the clip I bought from Jamie Deluxe. Now, this dropped this weekend. It's Papua New Guinea's pigs. And viewer discretion is advised. You need to go watch the whole thing to get the full gist of what Jamie's trying to put out there. But we put so much clout into these scientists, right? If they tell us that's the science, then we're going to believe it's the science. And that is why so many of us fell for Fauci's BS. And that is why so many have fallen for whatever they've told us over the last 50 years of science, right? Especially when you talk about AIDS. Now, Jamie has done amazing research into the AIDS epidemic, the treatments that were used, and who perpetuated it. Fauci, and how they were wrong on so many different levels, right down to what they are labeling these viruses, or they don't even call this a virus. You'll see it in the clip, what they are. So let's just watch this. And I highly recommend you go watch the whole thing. Go watch the whole thing. This is actually up on his YouTube channel, so you can find him on YouTube.
Warning. I chain smoke and I say fuck a lot. But I accept myself for the way I am. I accept you too. Viewer discretion advised.
Carlton Gaidashik, who performed questionable research in which he never could isolate a virus from Kuru disease, nevertheless became known as the father of the slow virus idea.
The virus hunters still had many weapons to pull from their box of tricks, such as the concept of the slow virus, a virus capable of sleeping in a cell for years before striking with its pathogenic or fatal effects. The claim that a disease takes a very long time, decades, to break out, gained popularity in the 1960s when virus hunters convinced the medical establishment that the virus concept could even be imposed on cancer. That is, a disease that generally appears after years or decades. But despite a most arduous search, researchers were simply unable to find any active viruses in tumours. The disappointment and frustration was correspondingly great, but a new theory was soon developed, that a virus could provoke an infection, then lie dormant in a cell for as long as it wanted, and finally at some point trigger cancer, even when the virus is no longer present.
Because that was never
Just
a
as
thing
with
before
polio
this.
earlier, the genome of a so-called slow virus had never been isolated, and the particles claimed to be slow viruses have never been imaged with an electron microscope, but the virus hunters embraced the suspect theory and adapted it to a number of modern ailments.
I've already made a couple of videos about this before. Carlton Gajdashik, the lunatic pedophile, who, like most government scientists today, cling to their hypothesis and force all data to fit it in one way or another.
That's what they do.
He's the guy that came up with the slow virus theory, or unconventional virus. And without that, they could never have blamed AIDS on HIV. I'll leave links to my videos below, along with links to all other sources that I use in this video.
Australian scientist Professor Michael Alpers has dedicated over 50 years researching Kuru, an incurable brain disease unique to Papua New Guinea.
The first reports about Kuru in the general literature came from anthropologists describing Kuru as a psychosomatic disease.
In the brain.
Some kind of reaction to the change in their world with the advent of the Australian administration. I found it exotic.
After 3 months in the field, he was no closer to solving the puzzle that was Kuru. Then he met American virologist Carlton Gajdashik, the only other medical researcher dedicated to trying to understand this strange disease.
Everything was perfect. He was the right person in the right place, the right time. It's just he was extraordinarily fortunate that that should have happened to him.
Although he had no permission, resources, or equipment, Carlton cancelled his return flight to the US. He set up a small lab in the jungle and started to dissect the victims of the disease on his kitchen table.
It didn't take very long to realize that we were both on the same wavelength in terms of our attitude to the world and where we thought what we were doing would fit in.
Before making it to the South Foray tribe to study Kuru, Carlton stopped off to stay with the Kuka tribe.
Carlton writes in his diary about how he loved the smell of the Kuka male adolescents, the smell of grease, pig fat, wood fires and semen.
Okay,
now,
Gallery.
Whether he actively participated in any of these practices is another matter.
I have never once taken a kid to my bed. They have come to my bed,
Okay,
and I have
Michael.
no one to kick them out.
That's not what Jackson said too.
If they hug me and I find them playing with my cock, I say, good on you, I play with theirs. And I'll do it now and with great pleasure.
Or did you just fantasize about his participation? But they clearly fascinated him.
This is the guy who found AIDS.
Gajdashik's fascination had deep roots. For years, he had recorded in his journal his anguish over his attraction to young boys.
With 300 or 400 boys who had
Ew,
sex with me
I know.
from 8 and 10 and 12. 100% have run into my bed, jumped in without my mentioning it, and asked for sex.
Carlton had done every medical test known to science, in particular investigating the prime suspect, cannibalism.
Everybody's been thinking cannibalism, everybody I met, from the before I saw Kuru. But we found that that couldn't be the case. We had no inflammation, all the medical reasons for not, and we threw it out.
Cannibalism had to be dismissed when every one of Carlton's tests on animals demonstrated that Kuru was neither infectious nor transmissible.
Okay, you have to go watch the rest of that video. Jamie Deluxe, it's called Deluxe Nation 2.0. That's his new channel. I think Jamie's had more channels taken down by YouTube than anybody I know because he does such great work, and it's mind melting. These people that we put in power, that asshole and the other one both got Nobel Peace Prizes. I'm not even kidding. Jamie has done such great deep work, and he's so underappreciated, I just gotta say, just because he likes to say fuck a lot like me. Go watch that whole clip. That is just nauseating. These are the scientists that are leading the way for us and have been leading the way for, the last 60 fucking years. And it even goes back to Operation Paperclip. Like, they brought over one of Hitler's biggest architects' daughter, and she lived with him. And they covered it up. I mean, it just, this goes back so many years. Everything goes back to World War II. I'm not even kidding. Every fucked up thing we're dealing with now goes back to World War II. There's always a connection. Annie Jacobsen. If you have never heard of Annie Jacobsen, please go look up Annie Jacobsen. She's one of my favorite writers next to Whitney Webb, because they get into the workings of DARPA and they tell you how they laid this pathway back in the 50s, and we've been on it ever since. And yes, they're all fucking pedophiles. They're all disgusting pedophiles. And speaking of that, I figured I might as well throw this one in. So this is Gordon Chang of the Great American Tech War. He's an author, and he is trying to beat the drums of war against China, because he is saying that there is cannibalistic Chinese boys coming to the border and drinking blood on Fox. What?
Of males of between 5 and 15 who are of military age, not coming with family groups, pretending not to speak English, and engaging in Chinese military rituals like drinking blood. A border section patrol chief said that some of them are known to have Chinese military affiliations. So clearly these are saboteurs coming into America to wage war on the United States on the first day that there is war in Asia.
That is just drinking blood? Is that what you just said?
Yes. One of the Chinese military rituals is to slaughter an animal, in this case, chickens. Michael Yon, a war correspondent, has seen this. Yeah, I've done it. And they drink the blood.
Dude, did you guys see Newt's face? He kind of like, oh yeah, I remember that. That was a good time. I don't even know why that was being said on Fox News. Now, I'm not going to say it's not happening, because I don't know what's happening. I know that this whole fucking planet is disgusting, deprived, and it's fucking, global Babylon nowadays. So would I say that would never happen? No, I would never say that would never happen. But why? What? So China's invading us through our south border, and they're doing it with 5 to 15-year-olds who apparently live on chicken blood. That's what Fox wants you to think. Boy, they are hard up for clicks ever since they got rid of Tucker, aren't they? That's just what that seems like to me. A quadruple vaccinated Queensland woman claims to be on her 10th COVID infection. 10th. She's had COVID 10 times now, but she hopes that more vaccine doses will save her. This is dated July 10th, 2023. No, this wasn't from 2 years ago. This is right here, right now. People still thinking the vax, and I'm here to tell you, because we are on YouTube, the vax is efficient and safe. Yeah, there we go. I said it, YouTube. I said it. Did I mean it? Probably not. Some truths got dropped on the Who, and of course there's a lot of great fiery God, did I bring that one? I saw one yesterday where it's the committee hearing on Capitol Hill, and they're asking about Fauci, and it was the two people who said that the lab leak theory was probably right. And they went to Fauci, and then within a day or two, they changed their mind and said, no, it couldn't be engineered. It's not engineered at all. It didn't come from the lab. And they wanted to know why they changed their mind. What changed your mind? And I didn't bring that clip. You'll probably see it somewhere else. I'll bring it on Friday because it's uncensored. We can really get into it. It's almost comical at this point, but this is comical. Listen.
People all across the world are hungry, are thirsty for freedom. With this pandemic, this was the best opportunity for some elites that are not elected by anybody, who are not accountable to anybody, to pretty much hijack, day by day, month by month, year by year, more and more of our rights, more and more of our assets, because we see that happening right now in many countries. You saw what happened in Canada, for example, when the truckers protested against Trudeau. He ordered that their bank accounts be blocked, and that happened. at that point, we did not even have, they did not even have in Canada, the digital currency. Imagine what will happen when on your phone you will have the digital wallet, the digital currency, the digital vaccination certificate. We saw what happened. And now just imagine in your worst case scenario what will happen if we allow the WHO to have so much power over our states, over our governments, our elected officials, and even over our judiciary. Because over the years, over the centuries, I would say, when the modern state was developed, we had the so-called separation of power in the state. You had what we have, the executive power, legislative power, and the judicial power. And the reason why the power was split among three different powers in the state was that the individual rights of every person be protected, be safeguarded. So in case the executive power or the legislative power is abusing your rights, you can go in front of the judicial power or the constitutional court to challenge a law or to challenge an administrative decision. Now imagine what would happen if all of this decisional power would be passed over to WHO. Can they stay in court? Can the head of WHO justify his decision, for example, to proclaim a pandemic across the world in front of a judge? Because they can't right now. So the biggest threat that we are facing right now is a threat to our national sovereignty, to the supremacy of our constitutions, and implicitly, unfortunately, to our fundamental rights. Because if all of these powers that were granted through our constitutions to our national institutions or authorities will be handed over to a global institution that is not accountable to anybody, who's led by people who are not elected by us as citizens, then we are done with our...
We are done. We are done. We've handed over our sovereignty a long freaking time ago, but I still love watching truths get dropped in. Is it just me, or does the European Parliament seem to get a little bit more truths? Of course, you got Mick over there. You got Claire Daly over there. They're just dropping truths left and right. I love seeing truths drop. You don't see them happening here in the United States very often at all. Albert Bourla from Pfizer, just a reminder telling you that he didn't need to take it, but the rest of the world did.
59 years old, in good health. I'm not working in the front line. So my type is not recommended to get vaccination.
Yeah, so he wasn't recommended to get one because of his age. He's 60, he's healthy, he's good. That wasn't the recommended age at all. So is this it? I might have added it this morning. Well, we'll see what this is. I'm not sure what this is. It's something I added this morning. I must have watched it at 2 o'clock this morning in my sleep because I do that. Oh, this is lab leak. Yeah.
Even if the virus came from a lab, as indeed it could have, we don't know that yet.
Chime,
that would only deepen Donald Trump's culpability because he was the one who repeatedly and enthusiastically praised China's early handling of the pandemic and assured us that he was working closely with President Xi on the response to it. So let's just get the facts straight and leave all the political myth-making aside.
I love people who want to blame me for that shit. Get the fuck out of my face. God damn.
Oh, that's right. It's still Trump's fault. It's still Trump's fault because of Operation Warp Speed. But that's bullshit when you know what DARPA's been up to for the last 30 years. There was no warp speed. It didn't come on fast. They didn't pull this shit out of their ass in 2 years. No, they've been preparing for this for many years. And you need to go watch that testimony. I'm going to bring it on Friday. Where they basically admit that, yes, they weaponized coronavirus. It was a virus that mutated so fast that they couldn't lock it down. They knew that, and they knew that they could go in and change the geo sequence of it. And who was right about this 3 fucking years ago? Miss Amber King over on Brave New Future. She laid it out for us. She showed us exactly. And I'm just so glad that I knew that information all of this time. And now it's starting to come to light, exactly what we knew. There's one sequence in there that's man-made. It was human-made. It was stuck in there. And no matter how many times they tried to say it was a pangolin, because that was the excuse they came up with, that sequence that was human-made Well, they found a pangolin sequence that looked a lot like it. And so in that 3-day period when we were hearing rumbles that it was actually a lab leak, they were behind the scenes going, what else can we blame it on? And they came up with the penguin. So I remember those times in real lives. Amber King saved lives. Yes, she did. Yes, she fucking did. Miss Amber King, be proud of yourself. You saved lives. And I just helped perpetuate the message. I didn't have the information myself, I will tell you that, but I was lucky that my sister did have it, so I had it. And why do serial killers wear these glasses, though? Why? Why? I don't know. Inquiring minds, we want to know. Those squared 80s glasses. Oh, did you see this? What a bad day for Bezos. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin rocket engine explodes during tests this week. This wasn't really big news. I came across this over on a hacker site. Yeah, Jeff Bezos' space company Blue Origin suffered a rocket engine explosion while testing its BE-4 rocket engine last month. Of course, nobody heard about it till now. And during its filming on June 3rd, the Blue Origin's facility in West Texas, and it's a BE-4 engine, detonated about 10 seconds into the test. Boom. And a Blue Origin spokesperson confirmed the incident, noting no personal injuries or investigation was underway. Its approximated cause was identified. So they figured out what blew it up, and they're going to try again. It's a good thing he's got all that money, all of our money, so he can fix that shit, right? He's going to get us to space. Let's see. Thanks for your help today. Here's some venison. Thanks, buddy. No, how are we supposed to tax this transaction? And this is what I'm talking about when I say, go ahead and try to build a barter community anywhere in this fucking country. And if you're truly bartering, then you got the IRS and the FBI on your ass. I know I've had friends in Idaho that tried to build a barter community, and they got shut down. So keep trading in venison because it pisses the IRS off, right? There was quite a few of these type of videos I could have brought, but I just decided we'll stick with this one and move on. So 23andMe for trans people, ? I convinced my friend to take a 23andMe DNA test for fun. She was born a male, but now identifies as a female. And her results came back with a Y DNA haplo group and only one X chromosome. This was really problematic for her and made her feel uncomfortable. Does anyone know if 23andMe makes any kind of accommodations for trans people? Has anyone had an experience with it? I'm just going to let that sink in for a minute. Yeah, we live in that time, guys. We live in that time. I don't, you know what to say. Will you give me fake results about what my chromosomes are? Is that what they're asking? We live in insanity world. They're smoking bong water is all I gotta say. Choose your own adventure. Smoking bong resin out of a tin can. That's right. Stoner Corner has made its way to this show. I just love Stoner Corner, and I have too many Stoner Corner memes to just hold them up on Saturday. So I decided Wednesdays we'll start doing a Stoner Corner too. I love the Choose Your Own Adventure books. Weren't they fun? They really helped your imagination, right? And I would always pick one, read it, and then be like, oh shit, and go back and change it, read a different one. They were always fun. Okay, guys, we're getting to the end of the show. I'm running a little late, but I got to go pick up Hunter. I'm going to take my car that has the beeping oil sensor to the next town over, and I don't care if it blows up because, God damn it, I need my Hunter Bear here with me. School's out, and I miss her, so Nana's going to do what she's got to do. That's right. I'm Nana. Everybody calls me Nana. So let's talk about my garden. I did get out yesterday, do a little bit of pruning. I still have a lot more pruning to go. That is a colossal mammoth, Russian mammoth sunflower. That is not mine, but I'm hoping that's what mine look like at the end of summer. Mine are about 6 feet tall now. These are the little 4 feet American hybrids down here that I have a picture of. And the top picture here is the 6-footers. So I'm hoping I get my sunflowers that tall up there. Obviously, the Russians are doing better than the Americans. Seems about par. That is my lettuce patch that has kept me in salad all week. And of course, my squash. I don't know what's up with my squash, guys. It fucking's all males. It's all males. It's all males. Like every bloom I get, and I'm not even kidding, I've had 50 blooms on 3 different plants. They're all males. I got one female and she started to grow and then she just stopped, turned yellow and died. So if you got any suggestions, I've never had a problem growing squash. I've got zucchini and squash going. I've never had a problem. Normally they just grow like wildfire on their own. Yeah, I don't even know. How do you misgender your squash? Well, apparently I misgendered it. I gave it the wrong pronoun and now I get no squash. But that's okay because last year the rats ate it all anyways. And then of course my sweet peas and my tomatoes. I did beat my blight back and my tomatoes are looking much better. I'd say I probably got probably 10 or 15 tomatoes. I got some really good size ones in there. And so yeah, my vegetables are doing good in trailer park gardening, but I had to get some flowers going this year. And I love the fuchsias. The fuchsias are my favorite. But of course, there's shade. They like shade only. And have you ever seen a green hydrangea? I bought that for Mother's Day as a gift to myself, and it was beautiful pink. It was the most beautiful pink I've ever seen. And within a week, it started turning like this weird brown color, and it just turned green. And the only thing I can come up with is that Walmart had dyed them for Mother's Day a very vivid pink. And now the dye has ran out. And when you mix blue with pink, you're going to get green, right? So I think that's why I have a green hydrangea. I think that it was actually, yes, Jilly, I know about the soil pH when it comes to hydrangeas. I'm going to throw some coffee grounds in there, see if it changes the color of it. But I'm telling you, I think Walmart dyed that sucker pink and that's why it's green now. And then of course I got this one down here on the bottom from Oz. I don't remember what it's called, but Joey grows them. They're beautiful. They're almost like a praying mantis, but they get these red, fiery little, like almost bird looking things on it. So I have babied. I got that as a start, as just a little tiny start. And now it's actually growing. But this is my zen. If I'm not in here looking at the disgusting things happening in the world, then I am outside playing in my garden. So I enjoy my zen. I suggest you guys get zen too. Oh, there's my pepper plant. Snorky, look, there's my pepper plant. I've got like 5 green peppers going on it. They're little because it's been cold, but they're doing good. I got some onions going, some red onions, some white onions, and then I got strawberries. I've got a couple of strawberries already this year. My strawberries from years gone by kind of got eaten up by grass, and I see they're still in there. I'm probably gonna dig them out. And then this one on top, this is called a death bloom. Now that is a chicken and hen, and when they get to a point where they're too crowded, they explode straight up. They look like a crazy alien thing, and they have all these little fuzzy, spiky balls that they drop as babies, and that is chickens and hens. So I'm going to take a bunch of chickens and hens down to Joey and Oz next month. That'll be fun. Crazy. I call them the alien plant because they always look like an alien. Okay, guys, we're almost out of here. I'm going to go get the bear. Thank you, Snorky, so much for hitting my hitting my Cash App during the show. I appreciate you. You know, I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you, your support, your help, and I know we're gonna make it happen. I will get down to Oz. You know, Oz and I have only ever hung out in person one time in all of the years of doing shows because we live, 200 miles apart. So I'm excited to go down there and hang out at the Land of Oz. Get to hang out with Amber and all of the Roar peeps. So thank you so much for your support and your help. And one more, Julian Assange, journalist Julian Assange, wanted by the U.S. for exposing war crimes. And that's exactly what it is. He exposed it. You can write Julian Assange. There's his address, or you can go to writejulianassange.com and get it at any time. So come on, guys. It's more than time that we write Julian Assange. He got a letter from the Pope. I heard an interview with Stella today, and she said that he wrote him a letter about a year ago, a little longer, when he was really having a tough time from what we were hearing. I mean, there was a lot of, self-harm thoughts, I think, going on with him. So, and the Pope helped carry him through that. So let's just get him out. And then we don't have to get the Pope to write him a goddamn letter. It's that simple, guys. Okay, so we're starting something absolutely new, midweek Trailer Park Blues. On Wednesday, we are going to do blues. And there's a reason for that because, you know what? In the trailer park, we have the blues for sure. And so this week, I want to start out with Eric Johansson, and this is In the Pines. I love In the Pines. It's a Lead Belly cover from the 30s. It's about a woman who's had it with her cheating husband and chops his head off. It's a great song. Of course, Nirvana covered it, but this is a better cover. And then next week, we're going to do Curtis Mayfield, right? Yeah, that's what Curtis Mayfield, do some Coltrane. Yeah, we're just going to start doing blues on Mondays or on Wednesdays. So we'll call it the Trailer Park Blues, midweek Trailer Park Blues. That's what it is. You guys have been great. This has been a fun show. Thanks, Amber. Let me shout out the chats. Did I get all of the Super Rays over on the Super Rays? Let me check. I hate bouncing out and you guys, I don't get them all. Shandog, my wife is Puerto Rican and almost became a Job's daughter. Her mom was in the Bergerta. No, there's no T in there. Yeah. It said fuck no. Yeah, my mom said fuck no too. Like, Mom, all the other kids are doing it. My best friend does it. She gets to wear a big pretty dress. Why can't I? Yeah, I now get it. And I was pissed at my mom for years. We had Freemasons in the family, and you have to have a blood relation Freemason in order to become a Job's daughter, which is the daughters of the Masons. And I had one. We tracked it down, and my mom, she went to fill out the application for me, and she was just like, no, I can't let you do this. And I was so heartbroken. And my mom's been gone for a while now, and I forgive her. She was protecting me. So thank you for that. Okay, guys. Shout out to all of the chats. You guys have been awesome. God, we had good numbers this morning. You guys are just killing it with watching, and I'm going to keep coming doing this at 5, as many times. I think I'm doing 5 times a week now. I'm going to keep doing it as long as you guys are showing up. So you guys have a great Wednesday. Don't let the man get you down. And I will see you Friday for Uncensored. No YouTube, guys. No YouTube. You got to come hang out on the Rockfin, Rumble, and Kick for the good stuff, because I save all the good stuff I can't talk about on YouTube for Friday. So I will see you Friday. And midweek Trailer Park Blues, Eric Johansson.
My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me, where did you sleep last night? In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine. Oh, I'd shiver the whole night through. My girl, where will you go? Oh, I'm going where the cold wind blows. In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine. Oh, I'd shiver the whole night through. Her husband, he was a hard-working man. Lived about a mile from here, and his head was found in a driving wheel, but his body was never found. My girl, where will you go? Oh, I'm going where the cold wind blows. In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine. I would shiver the whole night through. my girl, don't lie to me. Tell me, where did you sleep last night? Tell me, where did you